We are the virtuous Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tặng thịnh, phi thứ pháp hội cập nhật thiết chúng sanh. Tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Saranto Suchedo Ye La Hudi Samyao Sanputo Ye. Nam mô Đăng Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đa Ya A La Ha De Tam Miệt Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zhao yu. 我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Qingliang, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Left-Home people, and all good known advisors, Emituofo. 诸佛菩萨 净良大师、师父上人、各位居士人、各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Quốc sư, Hòa thượng Tian Hoa, quý thầy cô và quý vị trí thức A Di Đà Phật. All right, thank you everyone for coming. Today is the 15th of May, 2021. We are gathered here to continue discussing the preface to the Avatamsaka Sutra written by Master Qingliang. Thank you very much. We're nearing the end of it. We are right now on slide 214, talking about the miracles. Why miracles? Because people don't know. Okay, they don't know better, so that's why they need something out of ordinary in order to pique their interest and strengthen their faith. That's human nature. Let's face it. So for Christianity to take hold in our human realm, they talked about a lot of miracles, okay, and a lot of sacrifices as well. To be honest, miracles are not enough. You need miracles and then sacrifices from their clergy. They made a lot of great sacrifices. When many of these clergymen in over there actually are bodhisattvas, were bodhisattvas, in my humble opinion. So anyway, it's nothing like having miracles to bring forth a faith so quickly. Okay, and the difference is that in Buddhism, we don't talk about it. We don't proclaim it as if miracles, as if it's something extraordinary. Why not? Because it tends to make you more greedy, okay, for miracles, so you become attached to small gains. For example, my master, Master YongHua, when he started preaching in China, he went around and healed a lot of people. Healing is a form of miracles, let's face it. He healed people left and right. And he continued to do that throughout his entire Dharma speaking career as a patriarch. So you see, and that's actually that's what piqued my interest initially. I thought, wow, I don't know anyone who can heal people like that, in such effortlessly, and so we need the miracles. That's useful. Okay, same thing with the Avatamsaka Sutra. We also need miracles to bring forth a more profound faith. So in the process of transferring the Avatamsaka Sutra from India to China, and the translation process is extremely, extremely difficult. And the transcription process is also very arduous. Maybe not as difficult, but extremely arduous, because they had no, it's a long sutra, and they had no printing press back then, no editing, computer editing. So you see, it's a lot of hardship that our forebears, the previous monks and nuns had to make in order for us, this late generation, to be able to take advantage of this most profound Buddhist wisdom. Okay, and in the process of doing the transcription and translating this sutra, they recorded there's so many miracles that happened, but only a few of them are recorded. Because these are actually low-level people. That's why the miracles are recorded. The high level, like the great Bodhisattvas and Buddhas, is, leave me alone, man. It's what I do every day. It's no big deal. Why you guys get so excited over such, insignificant things? Okay, so that's where it is. So don't make a big deal out of it. Okay, if you really understand Buddhism, those who speak of miracles actually are low-level people. I'm warning you. We agree on that. Is it clear? Okay? All right. So now we're on slide 214. Some novice, trainee, Mi Jiabo, in the Khotan Kingdom. This is in between Nepal and India. He strictly kept precepts and specialized in reciting the Avatamsaka Sutra. Okay? It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Remember, again, just recite the sutra and miracles will happen. But for that to happen more quickly, you better purify yourself. That's how you keep precepts. Okay? It turns out that when you live in a moral way, actually great things happen. Okay, miracles happen, because if you are living a pure and virtuous way of life, you see more of these great things that happen to you. Okay, so this is a concept that's not available in a Western culture. Okay, Western culture always are too attached to material things and to results, whereas they cannot see the connection between why it happened. Okay, Buddhism is a religion of cause and effect, meaning that you must have the wisdom to be able to make the connection between a causing agent and the resulting consequences or the resulting effect. Okay, it takes Buddhism, the kind of Buddhist wisdom, to be able to see that. Okay, so this is so the Westerners they fail to see the importance of being a moral person. Okay, all right. So going back to slide 214, so he practices it every day. He lived a very moral life and recited the Avatamsaka Sutra. You keep reciting and reciting and reciting. It's that simple. Okay? And wonderful thing happens. What happened? Suddenly someone with his palms together said, "Heavenly beings wish to invite you, so please close your eyes." Okay? And instantly he arrived at a heaven, and the heavenly king knelt and said, repeatedly losing battles with Asuras. I mean, he's been losing battles with Asuras himself. Here's what happened. This is clearly explained by Master YongHua. In the heavenly realms, the heavens above us, there are two kinds of beings there, okay, that are struggling, they're fighting for influence and domains. Of course, number one is in the heavens, in the heavens above us, okay, that you have the heavenly beings, the gods and the goddesses. Okay, those are the beings who have the blessings, have the heavenly blessings in order to be able to live up there, okay, above us. Okay, and so they deserve to live up there. You need to generate heavenly blessings in order for you at the end of your life to be able to reborn up there. Okay, so that's what the consequences of generating heavenly blessings. And that's what the Catholics do a very good job teaching their people and doing. Okay, and so do the externalists, such as the Hindus and so forth, Taoists and so forth. Those not Taoists, sorry. The Taoists don't live in the heavens. Taoists live down here in our human realm. So they teach you various processes in order to get to the heavens. Okay, in Buddhism, we also encourage you to be reborn to the heavens. In particular, those people who follow the Hinayana teachings. Okay, Hinayana teaching, the Buddha says you should go for a good rebirth at the end of your life. Meaning that you need to avoid falling to the lower realms, which are the hells, the animal realms, and the hungry ghost realms. Those are the undesirable realms, okay, by far. And so if you have any wisdom at all, any common sense at all, you should try to avoid falling when you die, okay? And preferably, the Hinayana people, they teach that a good birth would be to be born to the heavens or to go higher realms. Heavens have many levels. Okay, the higher the level, the more blessings you have, the more blissful you are, and the longer your lifespan. So it's the nature of the heavens. Okay, so when you live in the heavens, it's very desirable because only good things happen. You don't have any problems. You don't have any worries. You don't have to make ends meet. In the heavens above us, for example, in the desire realm, you go to, let's say, the Christian gods' heavens. That's called, recognized in Buddhism as a heaven of 33. Okay, meaning in the center of the heaven on top of Mount Sumru. Okay. Remember Mount Sumru? That's the center of our small world, a mountain, okay, the tallest mountain in our world. and it's about 42,000 yojanas high, okay, pretty tall, okay. And so on top of that mountain is lying, in that very top right there is the heavens of the 33, where the Christian God lives. In that particular heaven, in the center, that's where he lives, and in the four directions, okay, and intermediate directions, they have 32 more heavens, okay. So they surround this Christian God's heavenly heavens, okay. So that's why it's called the heavens are 33. So you go to that heavens, then a wonderful thing. We learn more about this when we explore more of this Avatamsaka Sutra, where they describe in greater details how wonderful life is in that heaven. Okay. For example, if you want clothing, new clothing, you feel like wearing nicer clothes or new sets of clothes. Okay, the clothes will come to you. You don't need to sew them or buy them at all. Whatever you wish will come exactly at the right size for you and exactly of the finest materials available. Okay, it's all designer clothing, mind you. Same thing, similarly, you want to eat anything at all, whether it's pho or, well, actually up there, pho is not considered a fine food, okay, nor caviar. Caviar is not fine food up there, okay, or champagne. No. Champagne is a 2-course, okay. So everything up there is so refined. Like music, are you into music? Same thing, musical, heavenly music up there is so much better than the best music down here. In fact, when you think about it, it turns out in our human realm, quite often, the great composers actually often heard heavenly music in their ears and they transcribe it. Okay, so in the heavens, everything is so wonderful. That's why it's so desirable. Okay, and you really don't have any suffering until towards the end of your life. That's when you suffer. All right. So that's why heavenly existence is very blissful. It's very desirable. So it's no wonder that the non-Buddhist externalists, they aspire to go up there. That I agree with that. That makes sense. However, competing with the heavenly beings are the Asuras. Asuras do not reside in the heavens, but they aspire to move into the heavens and take over the heavens because they feel that they are just as competent, just as deserving to live up there. The Asuras are a set of beings that live in our realm, lower in our realms, and they like to fight. So they love to go up there and pick a fight with the heavenly gods. And it turns out that they're so fierce. They're such good fighters. Okay, and that's why it's very common, very often, the fight that occur between the Asuras and the god and the gods end up in losing battles for the heavenly beings. So that's what this Deva King here talked about. He says, we've been losing battles with the Asuras. Okay, Asuras much better fighters than the gods. The gods are better at love. They're not good at fighting. Okay, so this Deva King said, please recite the sutra to use the sutra power to aid us in our struggle for survival, because they cannot keep up with the invading forces from the Asuras. Okay, and the Asuras, the funny thing is that they feel that they deserve being up there. So there is said in the that the Asuras have what is it? Blessings of virtues. I forgot. Anyone remembers? It says the Asuras have the heavenly blessings, but don't have the heavenly virtues. That's why they cannot live in the heavens. Okay. Anyone remembers that? Or is it they have heavenly virtue but not heavenly blessings? That's why they don't live up there. Someone check it out for me quickly. Okay. No? Orange. So they have the heavenly blessings, but not the virtues. That's why they don't deserve to be up there. Yes? Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a while. So even though the point is, even though you have the blessings, you have the money to have a good life, but you must have the virtues in order to be there. You see now, going back to this concept here, keeping precepts. You keep precepts, that's to be virtuous. See that? So even so that is key to that. Even if you do a lot of good things like reciting the Avatamsaka Sutra, but if you don't keep precepts, you will not be able to receive the greater benefits, the greater miracles that you have. Same thing. The Asuras do have a lot of heavenly blessings, meaning they have the blessing go up there and live for a long, long time. They don't need to work. They're entitled to nice clothing, to great food, to beautiful women, and so forth. Okay, but they don't have enough virtue. Meaning what? They keep on creating bad karmas. That's why those heavenly blessings cannot materialize. Okay, it's their own karmas, negative karmas, bad karmas that actually prevent them from going to the heavens and reside there. Does it make sense? To me, that's such an interesting concept. Okay, that the foundations of the great things that happen in your life is actually precepts, in addition to blessings. Questions or comments? No? You're not impressed? How many people know that until today? Seriously? Go ahead, Wei Mountain Temple.
Master, my question is, what do Asuras do to gain so many blessings?
To gain what?
To gain the blessings.
Gain the heavenly blessings? Not just blessing, the heavenly blessings. You need heavenly blessings to go up there. Okay? How do you...
Master, but what do the Asuras do that they are able to have blessings?
What do they do to have heavenly blessings? Okay, and you can ask the Alter Leader. He knows all the answers that I gave in the past. No, he forgot. He says, I don't want to go to the heavens. I want to ignore Master YongHua's tips about how to go up to the heavens. So self-serving. Go ahead.
I never heard Master talk about this before, but if I were to guess, somehow the heavens and the Asuras have they have karma with each other, so somehow they're allowed into the heaven because of their prior karma. That's the only reason I could think of.
Okay. Anyone else? How do you go to the heavens? Come on, this is Buddhism 101. This is fundamental. That's the first few things we teach you. How do you go to heavens? So that you're no longer impressed by the Christian approach. Otherwise, we lose you. Anyone? How do you go to the heavens? You know how to become enlightened, but you don't know how to become, I don't know how to become a god. Huh? You know how to become an arhat, you don't know how to become a Christian god. Yes, Vishnu, orange.
Mô Phật, theo con được nghe dạy thì tu thập thiện thì khi chết sẽ được thác sanh lên cõi trời.
Very good. We ignore way mountain question then.
That if you do the 10 good deeds, then you have a blessing to go to the heaven.
See, one sentence right there. All you have to remember is do the 10 good deeds. That's how you get to the heavens. That's how you plant the blessings, you plant heavenly blessings. It's that simple. You don't need to build a church. Do you? What are the 10 good deeds? I'm facing blank stares again. 10 good deeds. Yes, yellow.
Mọi điều thiện là thân tam, tức là sát đạo dâm. Khẩu tứ, tức là giọng ngữ, ý ngữ nó lưỡng thiệt, rồi nó ác khẩu. Rồi ý ba là không có tham sân si.
Okay, see, very good. See, this is the fundamentals that you need to make sure you understand, because most of your friends, acquaintances, would love to go to the heavens. Yes, they all feel it's desirable. So how do you go to the heavens? The most direct karmas that you can create to generate heavenly blessings are the 10 good deeds. Meaning any of these 10 good deeds, preferably all 10, but not necessarily all, there have to be all 10 of them, but you generate as many as possible along those lines. The more good deeds you generate, more of these 10 good deeds you generate, the higher your grade of heavenly stature. Does it make sense? Okay, if you want to be a god, for example, do the 10 good deeds. You want to be a prime minister, then you do like 9.5 good deeds, and so forth and so forth and so forth. It's not accurate, but you get the point. Okay, this is where my information becomes inaccurate, because I'm not sure how to become a prime minister up there in the heavenly, or a general, or a governor, and so forth. I have no clues. Okay, but the concept here is you do the 10 good deeds. The 10 good deeds refer to the 10 no's. Okay? Don't do these 10 things. That's how you generate heavenly blessings. Okay? What are they? Number one is, the first thing you learn is about your mouth. Okay? Those are the things that we can easily generate the good karmas. How do you generate good karmas? Don't lie. How is that? When you don't lie, okay, you are creating heavenly blessings. How is that? See, the Christians don't even know. They said, I need to, build a new wing for my church. Otherwise, I can't draw near my God. No, not that. It doesn't cost you a dime. Okay, actually, it's better that you don't give, build a new wing. In my humble opinion, just don't lie. Okay, what else don't you do? You don't lie. Number two, you don't use double tongue. Double tongue meaning that you say one thing to A and you say another thing to B, so that A and B get into conflict. Okay, so you don't do double tongue, okay, to provoke conflict between two parties. Okay, that's double tongue. Number 3, you don't use coarse words. Okay, coarse words, you don't curse. You don't use coarse words. Okay, that's how you create heavenly blessings. Okay, and number 4, you don't. What else? Say improper speech or unbeneficial speech or nonsense speech, like the small nothings, the shooting the breeze and so forth. Those are, when you don't say improper speech, then you are generating heavenly blessings. So far, so good. So with your mouth alone, you can generate heavenly blessings by avoiding committing these mouth karmas. So far, so good. Number 2, a little bit more difficult level. It pertains to your body. Don't kill is the first. Don't kill beings. Don't squash mosquitoes. Don't squash ants. I have to stop doing that. I have an ant infestation in my house. My ants are the most aggressive one. And they're so hungry, they climb on top of the what is it, that sponge where you use to do dishes. It's amazing. Okay, so you don't. Oh, Wei Mao still has a question. You don't. So you don't. What did I say? You don't body. You don't kill. Okay, you don't kill. And then the next thing is you don't steal. Okay, the stealing here may make sense to you, may be more logical to you, intuitive to you. Is when you kill people, you're depriving them of their entitlement to their blessings. Okay, so so you prevent them from enjoying their own blessings. That's somehow to generate heavenly blessings for you. Okay, number 3, finally number 3, the body karmas you generate are no sexual misconduct, meaning that you don't engage in extramarital affairs. Okay, so far so good. So for example, the Christians, the young generation, they have this practice of not, the young ones, they're not engaged in sex. Okay, that's creates heavenly blessings, by the way. You may be joking and that may be laughing at them, but actually they have more blessings than you. Okay, while you're laughing, they are generating heavenly blessings. Questions or comments? Okay, and finally, there are 3 more karmas that you can avoid, and by doing them, you generate heavenly blessings. What are the 3 mind karmas? And your mind does not give rise to thoughts of greed. The mind does not give rise to thoughts of anger. And your mind does not give rise to thoughts of stupidity. Is that clear? Okay, so, and it's very difficult to do because in our world, in our human realm, we are definitely greedy. Yes? You know anyone who's not greedy? I don't. Okay, you want to know who's greedy? Look at the mirror. Okay? Number 2, you are not angry. Okay, that's virtually impossible. Okay, especially when you have kids. Okay, try not to be angry when you have kids. Okay, try to be not greedy when you hear of these stories about how people make money investing in cryptocurrency. Disgusting. And they're so proud and they brag about it. It's so annoying. And it's too late for the rest of us. Okay? So it makes you greedy and makes me angry at the same time. Okay? And then finally, you are not stupid. Stupid refers to the fact that you refuse to accept the law of cause and effect. That's the most glaring act of stupidity. It's so clearly the whole universe we live in is driven by cause and effect. Whatever you have today is from a planted cause in the past. No two ways about it. The Buddha, in his infinite wisdom, sees a direct connection between that. So this law of cause and effect, by the way, is simply the law of the universe. It's not invented by the Buddhists at all. Actually, it's just the way of nature. Okay, so those are the three things. The three mind karmas. They are extremely difficult to practice. Just think about food. Aren't you greedy for good food? Huh? Aren't you angry when you're not getting what you want? Okay. And aren't you stupid because you think you know everything? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Yes, I have two questions. So the first one is it thought somewhere when you get to like fourth dhyana or something, you get to a heavenly state? Would that create heavenly blessings and allow you to go to the heaven? So could that allow the Asuras to go to the heaven? They get to that level of samadhi. And also, so is it true that like the Asuras and the gods are fighting above? Does that kind of create tension down here and create fights between the different humans? What's going on in the heavens?
Right.
Is it like a mirror?
Yeah, good question. It turns out here the Chinese is not very precise about that, and so I'm going out on a limb to explain this to you. But remember, I'm no patriarch, I'm no bodhisattva, so take it with a grain of salt, okay? Because the Chinese love to lump all the heavens together, and there's so many layers of heavens, and they keep on saying, for example, heavenly blessings. And so that's why the question says, what about the fourth dhyana heaven? When you have the fourth dhyana heaven blessings, and what does it do with the Asuras? Okay, I don't think the fourth dhyana heaven blessings pertain to the Asura blessings. Asura blessing pertain to desire realm blessings, meaning they can go up to the desire realms only, not beyond. Okay, so the fourth dhyana is the form realms, so the blessings are different. The way you generate blessing to go to the form realm are different from the heavenly blessings you need to generate to go to desire heavens. Okay, so this Deva King, for example, here probably refers to the second desire heavens, the Christian gods' heavens, if you will. So far, so good? Okay, so the question is irrelevant. It's kind of stupid. It's not generating any heavenly blessings. Is that clear? Okay. See, this guy is too brainwashed. He says, I want to become enlightened, so he ignores everything else. And that's so selfish. You cannot You cannot just say, worry about yourself, become a fourth-day arhat or a bodhisattva. You need to also, before you can do that, you have to help others get the heavens as well. Okay, because what happens is that if you don't help them, when you get the fourth stage arhat, no heavenly beings will come and make offerings to you. So you like a piss poor fourth stage arhat, if you will. No one makes offerings to you. Does it make sense? So broaden your mind. Don't be so, so obsessed. All right. So, apparently, again, we talked about the direct causation for you to be born into the heavens. Okay, the desired heavens are those 10 good deeds. Okay, and you don't need to be Buddhist, by the way. Okay, and you don't need to give a lot of money, build churches, okay, or buy your way out of trouble. You cannot do that. Okay. However, one thing is that when you recite this Avatamsaka Sutra, it generates a lot of heavenly blessings itself. Okay, so that's why this God King here, he knelt down and says, I've been losing my fights, my battles with the Asuras, my arch enemies. Okay, and please help by reciting the sutra. Okay, so that's what happens. The Buddhists are non-discriminatory. Okay, so when people come to us and ask for help, we give them the different solutions in order that is more appropriate for your individual circumstances. Okay. All right, so then going back to slide 214, and this God King here ascended the heavenly chariot. And so this novice, trainee monk, he mounted a heavenly chariot. Okay. The gods, by the way, have many modes of transportation, like us. Some of you drive Teslas, but I don't know why. But anyway, that's besides the point. So some of us take the bullet trains, okay? Some of us fly. The heavenly beings, they have another means of transportation called a chariot, where it's a kind of thing. It's much better than our mode of transportation. You climb on this heavenly chariot, and in a snap of a finger, you can go to the heavens, throughout the realm, like quickly. Okay, and so this novice here was provided with a heavenly chariot, and so he climbed up there, and he silently recited the sutra. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. This heavenly king, not the novice. Okay. So this heavenly king here mounted his heavenly chariot and silently recited the sutra while fighting the Asuras. Okay. And the Asura army collapsed. Okay. So this Deva King here, knew about the power of the sutra. Yes?
In the Chinese text, it says it's the master, the novice.
It's a novice?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so the novice mounted a heavenly chariot. Okay. But why is it a strong enemy? That's what throws me off. It's not the enemy. The novice has no enemy. The Asuras are not the enemies of the novice. The Asuras are only enemies of the Devas. Question, Red?
Why would he take sides on this fight?
Why would he take sides? And maybe he aspires to go to the heavens himself. So he creates conditions with the heavenly gods first, and then when he gets up there, he gets better treatment. That's common sense to me. Why wouldn't he take side? Red.
That's creating offenses with the Asuras and.
Creating offenses?
Yeah. It seems like if they fight it's. I'm not sure. Like I don't think it's a good idea to help take one side and then fight with the other.
Good point. What do you think? Take his, this lady here. He said, "You siding with the gods, so you are favoring the gods over the Asuras." What do you think? Agree or disagree? Yes, orange.
A Di Đà Phật. Con nghĩ rằng bởi vì vua trời đã tạo cái duyên và cầu cứu thầy Sa Di, thì hãy ai cầu thì giúp người đó, chứ đâu có biết phía bên kia là gì. Giúp bằng cách tụng kinh, chứ không phải là giúp bằng vũ khí. Như Đà Phật.
See, very Buddhist answer from the Vietnamese. Let me paraphrase it for you, because this is the Vietnamese way of answering. I will add a little bit more to satisfy the thirst for in the quest of knowledge of the Chinese. Okay, so basically it says that it's because the gods came and asked for help first. Seems fair to me. Just like, why would you marry him? Because he asked first. No? Do you need a better reason? Come on, ladies, help us out. Related topic. Why did you marry him? That's what a lot of men ask.
That sounds like a bad way to make decision about marriage.
So in other words, let me paraphrase it. You regret making that decision?
No, I made a decision differently.
Okay, we need a more satisfactory answer here. Huh? Because they asked first. First come, first serve. Okay? Imagine that you sit there and someone comes and asks you for a favor. You say, no, I'm going to have to wait until your enemy comes and asks me as well, and then I choose. Is that what you do? In the spirit of fairness? Agree or disagree? Is that what you do? You say, in all fairness, you know what? I hear you, but on your way out, would you mind calling your enemy and telling them come and ask me as well, so that you both have equal chances? Because I don't want to be partial to either one of you.
He can also just decides not to meddle, right? Like none of his business.
Just think about, just for a moment, never mind you or the Bodhisattva or this novice here. Imagine you're a Christian God, okay? And then a soccer team prays to you and say, "Oh dear Lord, help us win this match here." Okay. And then, so what do? And so you say, wait, I know the other team is going to pray to me as well. So can I wait a little bit? Huh? What do? You're God. I mean, who are you going to be fair to? The team A or team B? Same thing. You there, and Mr. A proposes to you, and Mr. B is coming to propose to you. Are you going to wait or what? See, it's not. There's no easy answer. So what do we do? It's not about the timing, okay? It's not about what you think. It's not the way you think. The reason that this novice here wants to help the Deva King is what? Because he's asked first in the proper fashion. So that ensures that there is no discrimination. Then the choice is easy. If you come first and ask properly, I give it to you. Okay? You're a homeless person. You come and say, hey monk, hey Asian monk, I need money to eat. Okay? Then basically he's asking the proper way. They call us Asian monk. So you give him $5 so that you don't have to worry about the next guy coming and ask you. No need to discriminate. Does it make sense? You give $5, you're done. You don't have to worry, do I give to him or to her or to the other person? The choice is very simple. If the conditions arise for you to do something to help someone, and you have all the conditions that are met, help and be done with it. If he has all the criteria, he's rich, he's handsome, he's from a good family, he's a good provider, and so forth, marry him. Don't agonize over that decision. Agree or disagree? I'm joking, of course, but that's one of the reasons is that if in our world, especially for monks and nuns, the first person who asks, okay, will receive help, and we're done. We don't have to worry about what happens next, okay? Or allocate our limited resources. We don't do that. We don't have to worry about that, okay? If they ask properly, they ask with the proper way of asking, then you cannot turn them down. Number one. So far, so good? It's predicated upon another reason. Usually, they have access to you because you owe them. There's some affinities in the past. For example, you said in the past, someone gave you help in a prior life. Okay, way back then, this person gave you help. Okay, whether it's some money, some food, just helping you cross the street and so forth. So you create the affinities right there in the past. Now, much later, this person, that person who helped your helper became the Deva King because of the act of goodness right there. Okay, and you are much wealthier and become a novice. Okay, and now when this Deva King comes to you and asks for help, okay, without even having to remember you owe this person or not, instinctively you're more inclined to help him because of the prior conditions. There's no need to understand. It's a natural proclivity, tendency to help because of the prior conditions. That's called cause and effect. So far, so good? Okay, so the intellectual, they say, this is not fair. I need to be fair to everyone. And actually, fairness, first of all, is overrated. Number two, fairness is very myopic. Too narrow-minded. That's what you call fairness. If you see the big picture, the fairness equation becomes different. You see even a bigger picture, it might appear to be unfair even. Does it make sense? So we don't need to understand what is fair and make sure we cover everything else, which is an intellectual pursuit. Okay? You just stick to the Buddhist teaching. If you are able to help and someone asks for help, okay, clearly that person has blessings with you. That's why they're able to access you. Okay? Then help and be done with it. That simple. You're thinking too much, in other words. No?
I think I was thinking too much. But there's a third party here that gets being attacked, right? Like
the Asuras.
Yeah. So isn't that like we don't really want to be engaged in fighting? This is some form of fighting, right?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
So still there's a way.
Boring. See, you don't fight? Fighting is a good thing. It gets your juices going.
Yeah. So if there are two gangs fighting, and then they come to ask master to help, right? One party, you would not help, right?
Are you now including me in this process? You're not creating heavenly blessings, let me tell you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Too many questions.
So suppose now you say the question, you turn the question and give me a hard time. It says, what if they come and ask you, would you help? Basically, yes? And my answer is, definitely, I don't know. There's so many ifs. Okay? Who's the Deva King? My first if. Who's the Deva King? Do I have good affinity with that Deva King or not? Number one. Number two, what's in it for me? Let's face it. Okay? I'm no bodhisattva. What's in it for me? Does it answer your question? Is it clear? You keep on giving me hypotheses and stuff. I don't work well with hypotheses. I work well with concrete things in front of my eyes. Gold, cars. Let's be real. Yeah, people talk too much. It's like people learning meditation. Oh, I love meditation. Really? No, you don't. You love to socialize. YouTube question.
Emily said, how can one be a bystander in a war? In that kind of situation, one needs to pick a side, do or die. So, in a scenario, when you see a girl getting kidnapped, being poured in a car, you just watch. Usually, the heart has honestly answered without thinking. It's not about the taste or fighting.
Are they related? It's too complicated for me. Okay, let me ignore the question for now until I have more wisdom. Yeah. You keep on asking hypothetical questions. You forget about this one thing about you, that you totally have no faith. And right now, this colluder from Chicago also thinks too much. The reason, boys and girls, monks and nuns, that we avoid hypothetical questions is because one thing is missing. What? It's not until you personally face the question yourself then you know what to do. Until then, it's a lot of hypotheses. What if, what if, what if? That's what intellectual people do. This is what executives do. We don't do that. Okay? We are much more simple-minded. Yes, Wei Mountain.
This reminds me when you were talking to the Venerable Old Monk about the Buddha and the child who has to get out of the burning building. And you were saying that, you don't know what that child did in the past. So you don't have the whole picture of the cause and effect.
And I may never will. Okay? You analyze something that cannot be analyzed because we don't have all the information. Okay? All you can do is try your best. All right? And live the consequences. All right. So, what if, I give you, another aspect I could counter with you. Okay, for example, this is a novice, remember? It is a novice. Most likely, no Deva King ever came and asked him for anything. So the guy says, I never done this before. Let me give it a try. So he recited. What's wrong with that? Okay? There's so many ifs. But that's not the point. The point is that this particular miracle, this particular manifestation the message is that this sutra, the reciting the sutra, is more powerful than a bazooka. Believe it or not. Isn't that interesting? See, you guys look at the smaller issues. The bigger issues to me is better than ICBM, is better than the stealth fighters. Okay, it's better than spiritual powers that the Asuras have. Asuras have tremendous spiritual powers. They can be so big, okay, as tall as a mountain. Huh? How are you going to attack a mountain? This is why the gods were losing, because they're faced with tremendous spiritual powers. And their own spiritual powers are no match for these. How is that? That's a proof that these Asuras have the blessings. Okay? They have the right to be up there, but not enough virtue to deserve to be up there. Okay? And all this guy did, mind you, this is a novice. And surprising to me, in this context, there's a novice would be allowed to recite the Avatamsaka Sutra. We don't do that to novices. Okay, if he's a novice, he has no business specializing in reciting the Avatamsaka Sutra. If I were to train him, I would not let him do that. Does it make sense? You see, those are the other aspects, the bigger picture. Okay, and somehow this guy here, okay, recited silently, and the simple recitation collapsed the army of the Asuras. How is it possible? To me, that's a miracle right there. Since when a sutra can be used as a weapon against some invading armies? Isn't it fascinating? You worry about fairness. I worry about fighting. It's more fun, more interesting. Next, 215. In the Tang Dynasty, Fang Xuanzhi is a lay person who still very young but decided to take refuge with a monk called Du Shun. And this monk, his shifu, taught him to practice the Avatamsaka Sutra. And he recited it primarily. And he particular was interested in the Universal Worthy Bodhisattva's practices chapter, okay, and followed that chapter as part of his practice. By the way, this is very, very important, okay. By the way, in Mahayana, this is a very poorly kept secret in Mahayana. The Mahayana practices are primarily based on Universal Worthy Bodhisattvas. That's the most effective set of practices in order for you to become a Buddha. The most direct path to Buddhahood is his practices. How do I know? Okay, because Master YongHua stressed that. Okay, he stressed everything about our lineage, our approach of teaching and practicing Mahayana in this era here is from Master YongHua's foundation, which is based on Universal Worthy Bodhisattva's practices. Okay, and we can talk about them maybe another time. There are 10 practices where we recite these 10 practices every morning. In 2 weeks, when you start the Foji, when we do the morning ceremony, we kneel down and you recite these 10 practices. This is what we recite every single morning. Okay, and that's a framework of all the practices we have. All right. So each time he recited this sutra, the Sharira a Sharira would appear in his mouth, and to the point where the total to several hundred Shariras. Okay, so this monk returned from Devata instantaneously. What's Devata? What's the Chinese for Devata? Huh? Can we have a Chinese text? I don't know what it means. Anyway, the detail, I apologize. I somehow I missed this detail here in my preparation. I apologize. I get back to you next time. Okay, and so he returned from that someplace instantaneously. Okay, and his body became fragrant from the visit, and the fragrance lasted throughout his life. Kind of cool.
Master?
Yes.
I believe that last bullet was for the story prior. Devata is the heaven. So that last bullet is for the story for the novices. That was part of the Chinese text.
Ah, very good. So we should fix it, huh? So let's take care of that. So let's do next. And then where are we? Right here. There you go. Okay. So anyway, so so that's the manifestation of this particular case here is Shariras appear from reciting the sutra, this sutra, okay? And from his practice, he observing the 10 conducts of Universal Worthy Bodhisattva. So far, so good? Okay. And as an anecdote, in our temple, there's a person who doesn't practice the Avatamsaka Sutra at all. In fact, she practices this kind of practice regularly, virtually every day. And yes, she's been telling us that she often finds shariras in the area where she did this practice regularly, and they're different colors, right? Is that right, Xin? You know which person I'm talking about. Don't mention names yet. Don't steal my thunder. Okay, so this person here, she swears to us, okay, that she gets shariras. Whatever she practices, this particular practice here, she would often find shariras everywhere. Either it's where she does it or in the bathroom, of all places. All right? So what kind of practice? Would you like to know? She does yoga every day. And I'm baffled. I said, is there a message somewhere here? That's too much for me. Okay? And then all those wonders in life at you, I have no clue why. Okay? Oh, speak of miracles. So I thought I insert, yours truly, just for the heck of it. For modern kind of flavor. I always fear the Flower Adornment Sutra because it's quite difficult. Okay, and I started preparing it for 2 months, and I admit to you, during those 2 months of preparing for the lecture, I was fearful. I was under great stress. Okay. Because it's self-imposed. I could have continued to talk about a lot of smaller sutras, but no, I had to open my big mouth and said, we should do something more challenging. It's called growth, okay? So, but during these 2 months of sweating bullets, really, and because looking and not understanding, somehow, I realized one day that my mind is sharper and much faster than before. And physically, actually, my eyesight improved, okay, and so forth, okay? So it's not surprising, by the way, the message is not surprising that miracles, manifestations occur to the many, the multitudes of people who wholeheartedly engage with this sutra and help spread the wisdom of this sutra. Imagine that young novice, remember, that he recited the sutra while facing, he silently recited the sutra while facing, while bullets, arrows and bullets and darts are flowing, are being thrown at him. He simply silently recited the sutra. Okay? And the invading army dissolved. Okay? So, you see, it requires a certain dedication, okay, and so that's why you get these types of responses. All right. Next, finally, there's some verses that the Venerable Jingliang, the great Master Jingliang, wrote to close out the preface. Okay? He says in 217, Gatha, I return my life to the 10 directions and the 3 times utmost reach, to thus most Kshetras, taming masters of perfect clarity.
归命十方及3际，尘刹原名调御师。
Okay. Commentary 218. It says, I return my life. Okay. And this is a very Buddhist thing. Okay. The Buddhists show their faith by returning. Return here, returning our lives. Return and rely. Okay, that's from the Wei Yi. So you come back because you got lost. Okay, you've been wandering in the wheel of reincarnation all this time for so long that the longer you stay in this wheel, okay, the more you forget where you came from. Okay, you become comfortable, you become accustomed to the wandering, okay? And now so you realize that, I've been getting lost all this time. So now it's time to return and rely on, okay? Rely on is what the triple jewel is supposed to do for you, okay? We're supposed to be a place where you can come and rely on, okay? And lean on, okay, for help, for support, for strength. It's not talk. It's not intellectual concepts. It's the fact that you can come and rely on the triple jewel. Okay? It has to be useful. It has to be strong enough for you to be able to rely on. Okay? And I turn my life to the teacher, okay? Meaning that you are, your life is the result of the teachings. It's the teachings of wisdom. They enable you to achieve and to accomplish these wonderful things with your life. And that's why you say, I am a product of my teacher. And this is the words of wisdom of someone who's done it. It's someone who says, I benefited so much from my teacher. Who I am today is thanks to my teacher. Okay? So it's an expression of gratitude and also that arises from wisdom. You see the difference between these wise people versus smart people like you. Smart people like you figure it out. There's nothing you can't figure out. These people says, okay, they're instead they focus on realizing that the great things happen because they actually understand that they got them because of the help from a teacher. Okay, so this great monk here, he says, what I am today, what I have today is from my teacher. So I want to return my life. So far, so good. It also means I offer up my life. Okay, this is the most valuable thing you're going to have, your life. Okay, and he offers up. He says, I offer up to you, okay, my life. This is the ultimate expression of gratitude. Why? Because the teacher didn't ask for it. Okay? And that's why, because the teacher, I experienced that with my own teacher, Master YongHua, okay, among a few others, among the others. And all these great teachers have something in common. They never ask for anything from you. Okay? They're not planning to get something out of you at all. They're not scheming at all. Because what they do is in order to benefit you first. It's never about benefiting themselves. That, I'm convinced of my late Chinese teacher. He's the only person, by the way, that I know who's like that. Okay? So that's why when you meet a person like that, and it's very easy to feel like you want to return my life to them. Okay? To the 10 directions. 10 directions refers to 8 horizontal directions, north, south, east, west, and in between. And then up and down, upper direction, lower direction. Therefore, you have the 3-dimensional space. 3 times refers to the past, present, and future. Utmost reach, okay, meaning that to the boundaries of time and space. So that's why in English, when they translate the Avatamsaka Sutra teachings, they call it a teaching of totality. Everything. Nothing is left out. Everything is included. All of infinity is included. There's nothing that is not included in this teaching. It makes you wonder. Makes you kind of helps you, kind of reminds you that there's no discrimination here. Okay, there's no political affiliations. There's no genders. There's no social statuses. Everything is included. It's for everyone. Totally for everyone. Isn't it relaxing when you think about it? It relaxes you. There's no need to discriminate. Huh? It's okay. Rich and poor are the same. Men, women the same. Smart and stupid people are the same. Success, failure is the same. Because it's a matter of time. You succeed now, in the future you fail. You fail now, in the future you succeed. And we'll repeat the cycle up and down, up and down, up and down. That's life. It relaxes you. Think about it. Why are you so attached to the current status? Why are you so attached to what you want so badly? Because, it's only transitory. It will change. You feel bad because it's not what you want right now. It's understandable. But it will change. It's a matter of time. Why? How do I know? Because all of you have so many blessings. All of you have planted so many heavenly blessings. All of you have planted so many blessings to become enlightened. Yes. Why do you think we do this? So it's a matter of time. Okay? So this utmost reach here is a concept of Ji, extreme here. This is the concept of limitless in this particular teaching. Don't be so narrow-minded. Okay? What is it? You say, I'm not getting what I want right now. You only worry about the present. Okay? In the future, will change, will be as you wish because you have the blessings. It's the only way for you to be here and listen to this sutra is that you have tremendous blessings. Remember, this novice guy there just sat there, stood there, recited this sutra, and what did he do? He protected the heavens. Think of the blessings he generated. Think about it. He prevented destruction. He prevented heartaches in the heavenly realms in his recitation. So that's his blessings. Agree or disagree? Right there. By simply reciting the sutra. And you've been listening to this sutra for weeks now, months now. Imagine the kind of blessings you have. So it's a matter of time before you become a god yourself, or a king, Deva yourself, or better yet, a president of the United States. Never mind. Wei Mao has a question.
How do I practice the Dharma door of the Avatamsaka Sutra if I, don't understand it or have a good English translation? How would I,
You start first by listening to the sutras like you do right now. And number two, if you want to do more, that's a good question. You want to do more, increase your blessings even, recite it. For example, recite it daily, okay? After you eat, I encourage you to walk to help increase your digestion. 10-15 minutes. During this 10-15 minutes, walk, and instead of thinking, recite the sutra. Okay? And you see good things will happen to you, assuming that you lead a moral life. Don't create bad offenses. So far, so good? That's all. It's very simple. But don't try to understand. Okay, just recite. Next, 219. And he says, use the concept of dust motes. Kshetra is a Buddha land, a land where there's a Buddha created by a Buddha. And he says, as numerous, as countless as fine dust, meaning there's Buddha lands in the universe. Okay, there's so many Buddha lands, basically a unit of a structure called a galaxy. And there are countless galaxies in the universe. Okay? And so in each of these galaxies has been created by a Buddha. Think about it, folks. There are countless Buddhas in the universe. So who do you want to side with? The Buddhas or the Republicans? Or Democrats? Huh? Isn't that amazing? Think about it. When I first started, I thought I was worried. I said, there's so many ghosts and demons going after me. So what happened to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? They're there watching over us and say, hey boy, just, hey ghost, hey demon, give him a hard time, teach him a lesson. Huh? All right? So the good guys are countless. Isn't it wonderful? You're so worried about your illness right now. You're so worried about your small losses right now. You don't realize that we have on our side countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Something my mother and my father never taught me. These are the taming masters. Okay, taming masters. 钓喻师 is one of the 10 generic titles of the Buddhas. Buddhas is one of the 10 titles, and same thing with taming master. He refers to the fact that he's a teacher. Okay, Shu is a teacher that's skilled in taming living beings' wild minds. Okay, they know how to tame our wildness. Okay, because they have perfect clarity. Okay. Meaning that perfection, meaning that utmost level of perfection. Okay, clarity here is that it's nothing, there's no confusion whatsoever. There's no dark corners in the mind. Each and every one of us, until you become a Buddha, still has dark corners in our mind that's not accessible to us. That's our reality. That includes bodhisattvas as well. The things that we can't access, we can't see ourselves. But when you become a Buddha, it's no more dark corners in our minds. That's it. That's the end. That's why it's called perfect clarity. Nothing confusing. Nothing can confuse the Buddhas. Okay? And that comes from their practices. Okay? Meaning that it's, what does it mean? What they keep on talking about perfecting practices. Meaning that they teach us, they urge us to do certain things. Okay? And by doing those things, we're able to see those dark corners in our mind. For example, we're taught, one of the first lessons we're taught in Buddhism is to practice giving. Because the more you give, the more you find these various spots in your mind where your stinginess hides. Believe me. Doesn't matter how much you give, you still have places where you will say, I'm not going there. There's a limit to this. Okay? Yeah. So that's why in Mahayana they have these special practices that are designed again to help clear the fog and the confusion in your mind. Right? Next, Gatha in 220. To the Dharma realm's great compassion, cloud of merit and virtue. To Vairochana, the great wisdom sea.
毗卢遮法界功德大悲雨，挪大智海。
Okay, so on the commentary, it refers to Vairochana, which is the Sanskrit name for the Dharma Body. The Dharma Body is the total body of the Buddha. Okay, his body is you, is me. His body is the entire universe. That's why it's called Dharma Body. What is Dharma? Dharma is anything. This body has anything and everything. Does it make sense? I look at this name for a long, long time, and not until today. I look at you cryptocurrency people and EV people, and then I realize, Dharma here is not about Buddha Dharma. Dharma here refers to all things. Isn't that cool? You like that, huh, Mr. Engineer? Okay? Dharma here is like nothing is excluded. Can you see the difference between this Buddha's mind versus ours? You see? Ours that we exclude. We cannot embrace. Things are too difficult to embrace. Name example. What do you find is difficult to embrace? For me, it's easy. Okay? I've been talking about that the past year or so. The ex-president. Just kidding. You see, in each and every one of us, we have things that are so difficult for us to accept. Yes? Right? Somebody talked about, this is not fair. That's all she tells me. This is not fair. If you cannot accept unfairness, then you're biased. You're so petty. You see that? So this Dharma here is that there's fairness, unfairness, there's rich and poor, there's bad and ugly, there's the whole gizmo, the whole ball of wax. Nothing is excluded. So what does it tell you? Wisdom, utmost wisdom is to be able to embrace everyone, everything. Can you see that? You are so hung up on things. Has to be fair, has to be good looking. You cannot have a pot belly. How disgusting. You cannot embrace it. Okay? Whereas this Dharma body is, everyone is included. The demons, the bodhisattvas, the great bodhisattvas, men, women, black, white, Asian, and non-Asians, everyone is included. And you're able to embrace them all. Can you? This Vairochana is your final state of attainment, where you're able to embrace everything. Everything becomes you. The ugliness, the ickiness. That's one I have to work on. Okay? You see that? Okay? Yeah. And that's why the Bodhisattva has come to our world in order to face the ickiness. He said, I've been practicing this for a long time, but I can't stand Asians. I mean, non-Asians. Okay? I don't care. Okay? And they're very adamant about it. And that's why it takes a long, long time to resolve these prejudices. You can kill me if you want, but I ain't going there. Okay? There's not enough time to talk about those places for me. Okay? So Vajrayana is that you're able to embrace everything. Can you see it right now? I can't retire yet. There's so much more to embrace. DRBA. Short people. Huh? Children, loud ones. You see that? Huh? So, isn't it fun? The fun is that this is exciting because it makes life so challenging to me. Don't you think? When you look at your own limitations, you say, wow, I can do so much, except I can't stand white people. No white people here today, thank goodness. You know what I mean? It's so much more fun when you say, oh wow, if you say, people have been worshiping you, oh, you are my Lord, you are my God, you are the best and everything, I say, but I'm still cannot embrace short people like you, ickiness people like you. Okay? So it's so challenging. I don't know about you, but I get up in the morning, if I do the same thing over and over again, I'd rather die. Well, sort of. But the challenge is that to be able to do something and we can't. You find it so hard to do. That is what makes life fascinating to me. That you face with our own limitations. It makes you humble. It makes you become aware of your weaknesses and your confusion, your prejudices. Okay? Vajrayana is Vajrayana, and they explain this Vajrayana Sanskrit means endless as the clouds. Okay, endless in what? In Buddhism, when you talk about endless, it's endless great compassion. That's what separates the men from the boys. Men have more great compassion. Okay? And merit and virtue, endless merit and virtue, meaning you keep on doing good and doing good and doing good and never ask, why is it so unfair? How come I've been doing so much good and he doesn't do anything and he gets to go to your temple, sit at the same place as you do? Why is life so unfair? How come I put so much work into this? And then it's not even a thank you. whereas a new guy walks in here and Xian Liao, please eat something. Whereas I've been here every day, she gives me a hard time, gives dirty looks to my wife, yells at me but I don't clean after myself, and so forth. It's so unfair. Not the same one, clearly. Our Xian Liao is perfect. Okay, so what is she doing? Look at that. Earthquake. See? And Na here is the great wisdom, okay, as profound as the sea. And so far he praised the Buddha jewel, okay. So this great Bodhisattva with all wisdom, he says, I tell you what, the Buddha is fantastic. It is so remarkable. If I want to talk about something, some being that is superior being, the first thing that comes to my mind is the Buddha. Okay? Next. He says, not only in the Buddha, there's also this something called Dharma jewel as well. Gatha 222. To the dwelling place most deep, the true Dharma nature, to what flows forth whole and perfect as a sutra.
所住甚深真法系，所留圆满修多罗。
So he says, this Buddha here, okay, he dwells in the most profound and the truest place called the Dharma Nature. Okay, the Dharma Nature meaning the true substance of all the dharmas. Everything in this world has a true substance. Okay, in Buddhism, there's a concept called substance. That is your true essence of everything. That is called the Dharma nature. Dharma here is, again, anything. The nature, anything. They all share this common thing called the Dharma nature. Okay? We all have that. Okay? Which flows forth whole and perfect as a sutra. Okay? So this Dharma nature manifests itself. Okay? And in particular, you can see that in this perfect teaching called Avatamsaka Sutra. So we're learning about perfect Dharma in the sutra. Perfect knowledge in the sutra. Nothing is missing. Okay? Next, he praises the Sangha, 224. In each assembly of the Buddhas, in each dust mode, the Universal Worthy, Manjushri, and all great knights. Worthy is a Y missing.
一一成方佛会中，普贤文殊诸大士。
Okay, 225. Okay, please make the correction, add a Y for me. So he says, in the scheme of things, in Buddhism, you have the Buddhas who are the perfect attainment, that the result of a perfect teaching called the Dharma. Okay, Buddha Dharma. The Buddhas are the perfection in practices that are described in the Buddha Dharma. So far, so good? Okay? And so you have the two of the three jewels there. You have the ultimate achievement in Buddhas that came from the ultimate teaching in the Dharma, okay? And in between, on the way there, okay, is something called the Sangha. The Sangha is something that there are ambassadors, if you will. They are representatives of the Buddhas. Because Buddhas is just like the emperor. The emperor is not going to talk to each and every one of you, of us. Okay? They don't have time. You're not worthy to talk to the emperors. Emperors have more important things to worry about. Okay? So they would send you the representatives, the ambassadors, the emissaries. Okay? So that's what the monks, the Sangha, does, is to represent the Buddhas and the Dharma. Okay? All right? So this, in particular, they're among the representatives, there are great representatives, very well-known representatives called great Bodhisattvas, the Universal Worthy, Manjushri, and all the great Bodhisattvas. Okay? Those are the big shots in the Sangha. Okay? There's a hierarchy. Sangha is very hierarchical. The Sangha, the Buddhists are very discriminatory in a way. Okay? They recognize the hierarchy. There's a clear hierarchy that's undeniable. Okay, and that's observed. Okay? So, for example, the great knights, the great bodhisattvas are the Universal Worthy Bodhisattvas, the Manjushri, Earth-Store, Wanyin Bodhisattvas. Okay? They are the great bodhisattvas because they're actually not bodhisattvas. They actually are manifestations of Buddhas. Okay? So it's called the hide the great and manifest the small. The greatness of the Buddhas, they hide it. They only let you see a portion. Okay? That's called small of themselves. Okay? And the Sangha are representatives of them. Meaning what? Boys and girls. When you're ambassadors, when you're representatives, okay, it behooves upon you, it's very critical of you to remember who you represent. Okay? You're representing the sages. We representing the sages. So therefore, you should avoid doing things that makes them look bad. You must do things to be worthy to be their representatives. This is where, in this Dharma ending age, monks and nuns forget about it. They're so caught up in the rat race and the difficulties and the obstructions, they forget about their roles. Okay? Even if the monks and nuns are not enlightened, if they carry out their jobs, their duties as representatives of the sagely Sangha, then they are worthy of offering. They're worthy of support. Okay? We're not asking lay people to recognize that. This is about you looking at yourself in the mirror. Wait, you can't look at mirrors. Okay, look at yourself on the reflection on the water surface. Okay? And ask yourself, am I a worthy representative? Am I a worthy Sangha? Am I worthy to be called great virtuous one? Okay? Let me tell you. Great virtuous one, I remind you, is the one that makes, that creates, and carries out great virtuous conducts. Okay? When I explained to you in last all hands meeting, great virtuous one is the one who makes great sacrifices. I'm not talking about one temple in Korea. You have to make a lot of sacrifices before you become enlightened. Okay? So this great monk here, the Venerable Jingliang, says, I have great respect for all the Sanghas, meaning the great Bodhisattvas, as well as the unenlightened ones like us, who are here to help be the representatives, so that people have a chance to draw near the Triple Jewel. All right? Questions or comments? Time is run out. We can't even finish this. How many more do we have? Oh, we're not done yet. So where are we? 33. Okay, we're not quite done yet. Maybe next time. Okay? Final questions and comments? You too. Go ahead.
Tian Guo asks, Master, is there only one Dharma body shared by all Buddhas, or they each have one?
Well, I'm no Buddha, but we can go through the reasoning here. You have one body, a Buddha has one body that has everything, right? That's a Dharma body. Next Buddha has a Dharma body that has everything. How many everythings are there in this universe? One everything, right? So therefore, logically, it should have the same one Dharma body. So that wipes away, eliminates all rivalry, all jealousy, all fighting, all discrimination. So this Dharma body here is one Dharma body for all the Buddhas. All right, thank you everyone. Let's do a reverse transference.